Cardinal resides inside of a First Order fort. This fort has stood for many years, with the First Order never really seeing any action within it. Nobody dared to try and assault these hallways. They were filled to the brim with First Order warriors, as well as anti-tank guns, mortars, and machine guns. And there was only one entrance to this fort, and it was a massive choke point. But despite this being known, the Resistance decided if they could take this fort, they could turn it into their own command center. So they sent forward hundreds of soldiers, along with tanks equipped with fire rockets, ready to smash the base to bits. If they succeed, the Resistance will grow ever stronger, but if they fail, it will be a massive blow to their numbers and morale. Yo, what's going on, boys? It's me, Daily Tactics here, back with some more Men of War Assault Squad 2, the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod, and today we are using the First Order Trooper extension. Once again, we have the First Order lining this fortress. A lot of people have been asking me to bring back the Under Siege series, where we use probably one of the best fortresses in the entire mod. It's simple, yet very cool and very effective. So I thought, okay, yeah, we'll bring back the Under Siege series, but today we're not going to do a Clone Commander Under Siege. We're going to do the First Order Under Siege, because it's something I don't think we've ever really done on this map before, and, you know, Our sequel fans deserve their moment of glory. They deserve some glory themselves. So, we have the First Order lining these defenses. They've got E-Web turrets, they've got mortars, and they've got anti-tank turrets, as well as just a whole lot of infantry, defending against the Resistance that's coming forward with a whole lot of infantry of their own, as well as some land speeders and high-powered artillery tanks back here. These things fire off those sort of Nebelwerfer rockets that can be very, very devastating to the enemy. So we shall see if the First Order manages to defend or if they will get blown up and destroyed. By the way, I will continue the Minecraft Clone Wars Survival series. I'm thinking about doing an episode tomorrow for all of those who have been asking. So without further ado, let's get this thing going. Please be sure to hit the like button. Let's try and get 1,500 likes in the first 24 hours. If we can hit that, I would be very grateful. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you haven't already. Trying to hit 400k by the end of 2021. And comment down below what would you like to see for Thursday's Men of War battle. Also, shout out to Mason for being a Patreon member. Your support is very appreciated. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get this thing rocking and rolling. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. All right, let's get it going here, boys. Pressing start right now. Let's see how the First Order does in their massive defense here. They are already just spamming on out. Look at this. I love a good line defense where you just spam out fire. Ooh! That's the Nebelwerfer I was talking about, and it looks like this Flame Trooper's gasoline tank. Oh! Oh, that's so brutal. Oh, it looks cool, though. Oh, my God. His gasoline tank blows up and takes a ton of First Order troopers with him. It looks like we've actually got a Resistance bonsai charge going here. A bunch of soldiers leading the pack, trying to come as far forward as possible. However, the First Order E-Web turrets are just spamming into them, trying to kill them before they can get to their objective. Unreal fighting happening right now on the battlefield. These guys are going full yeet mode, but it looks like most of them are, in fact, dying. I think they're just trying to get to cover in here, but getting exploded. Oh, this is so dope, dude. Holy cow. The First Order backline's even getting rocked a little bit by incoming Resistance fire, but they're still managing to spam out some fire of their own. Some of the bonsai units finally come to their senses and decide to stop and get a little fire out themselves, throwing some grenades, etc., etc. Not a bad idea, especially considering the losses taken up until that point. We do have some mortar fire coming out here and actually killing a good number of resistance soldiers right there. The resistance on the outside is probably safer than those bonsai units. In fact, I'm sure they're safer. There's no way that they couldn't be safe, but compared to them, but they're still taking some losses. This is not an easy battle for anyone, no matter where you are on the battlefield here. Some of the ramparts up here that the First Order are residing on are getting cleared. These are lighter defenses because in reality, the inside of this fortress is where you really want to make your final stand. That is definitely the golden place to stand against the enemy. So these guys up here, you know, they were sort of bound to die. It was never going to go well for them. But at the very least, they are actually causing a pretty nice distraction for most of the resistance troopers. There's also resistance troopers in these trees over here working on dealing with them as well, and it is distracting these guys additionally. So not too shabby, definitely a a helpful bit of the battlefield, but not going to be too instrumental in the overall performance of either side. It's just a minor little conundrum over there, I suppose, or problem. I guess. I don't know, dude. All right, either way, more spam fire coming from the resistance. They seem to be out-spamming the First Order. Cardinal, no! Oh, Cardinal's dead, dude. Oh, okay. It looks like some sort of artillery hit right smack dab here and wiped out all of the free-roaming First Order troopers. All of these guys were set to free roam, and now they're all dead, obviously, except for like one or two over here. And Cardinal got blown way over here from probably a direct impact since he was chilling at the front lines. I thought all of those guys would be safe since they were literally behind two different defensive lines, but I guess really nobody is safe in a battlefield like this that is just so chaotic. It's a real shame, too, because I think Cardinal's armor is so cool. It's so dope. We never really got to see him in movie form, though, right? He was only from the books, I think, which is still canonical. It's still canon. But I don't think we ever actually did get to see him in movie form, which is a real travesty because he is a very, very cool-looking character. And the First Order never really got much in terms of characters. All they got is Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma, who died like 3 times and never got any character development, and Admiral Hutch, was it? The random jabroni? I mean, they could have used another cool character. The First Order was underdeveloped, man. I'm not one of those people who absolutely hates the sequels. I don't like The Last Jedi very much, but I think The Force Awakens and oh god, Rise of Skywalker. I forgot the title for a second. I think they were both decent movies. The Last Jedi, not so much in my opinion, but, you know, of course, some people like it, and all the power to ya. But, like, man, did they fail at character development and character arcs and all that. Yeah, it was rough. All right, let's go into normal speed here. The Resistance fight seems to be dying down a little bit. They have managed to take out a large swath of the First Order here, but they're not approaching the battle with the same gusto that they were previously, and I think that might be because they're about to be entering into the choke point area here, which is going to be a very, very daunting task. I mean, this is going to be where I think we see the vast majority of death for our boys in the Resistance. It is going to be brutal over here, and you know, few of them will actually make it out alive, more than likely. I think a bird just flew into my window. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that in the video, but there was just like a clatter at the window. It startled me. I think maybe like a bird or like a squirrel ran into it. I don't even know, dude. Oh, that spooked me, man. Whew. All right, we're all good, though. We're all good. Let's keep watching the battle unfold here. All right, they are actually getting through here pretty nicely, but like I said, lots of losses, lots and lots of losses. Few of them are actually going straight down the middle, which is probably for the best. I mean, taking the flank, probably the best idea that they could be doing right now, but maybe spread out a few troopers down the middle, so that way, you know, the mortars can't just hit in 2 sides and get all the kills right there. We've also got Resistance soldiers running up to the ramparts over here, trying to turn the First Order's walls against them. It's a good idea. We've seen it before in these Under Siege videos that we've done in the past with like Commander Wolf and Commander Cody. It does happen. It's an honorable strategy. It certainly does work. But, it does take some time. It can result in troopers dying. You need a pretty good distraction going right now. And they do have a good distraction going, which is allowing these troopers to get up to these ramparts. So I'd say this is actually a pretty decent doing of this battle by the Resistance here. It's paying off pretty nicely. But you got to remember, there's still these 2 mortars. They still have these 2 anti-tank guns and a whole lot of troopers leading up these steps to the, of course, throne room up there, where Cardinal should have retreated back to, but he ended up dying before he could. Big sad. So there's still a lot of action to be had from the First Order defenses here that the Resistance is going to have to blast their way on through here. But you know what? If they follow the example of other victors of this battlefield in the past, like, I think Commander Wolf ended up winning, didn't he? I think so. So, if they follow the old book of battles, the book of daily tactics battles, maybe they'll have a good idea of what they can do here. But these mortars are acting as the main defensive line for the First Order and managing to kill large swaths of Resistance troopers before they can get too deep into the battlefield here. They need to take out those mortars ASAP style here. That is going to be #1 objective for the Resistance. I wonder if there is like a big book of battles in Star Wars, Like, how like there's Sun Tzu's The Art of War for real life that, every general on Earth has read and like, taken ideas from and stuff like that. I wonder if there's something like that for Star Wars. And like they have like an index of like all the different fortresses in Star Wars. They're like, with this fortress, this general, General Skywalker had success in taking over the ramparts first and then diving into the keep, and then, if you're ever attacking that battlefield in the future, as the sequel trilogy, you could look, take out your little handbook of war and go, okay, so we're attacking the daily fortress. Let's use this tactic. It worked in the past. It should work now. Or the defenders do the same. That'd be kind of funny. I mean, that's why history is important, boys. You gotta know your history in order to win these battles. Don't die by, attacking Moscow in the winter every single time. Do something different. Just an example. Either way, the Resistance is pushing in on the left over here. They're a lot more spread out now, which is great. That's going to help against the mortar. They don't have really the same attack going on the right side. That would be helpful as well. But hey, I guess one step at a time. The troops that are up on the rampart here seem to be firing down pretty nicely, which is good to see. Oh, and it actually does look like the 2 mortars did end up going down. So all that's left right now in terms of heavy armament for the First Order is the anti-tank guns here. So that's actually pretty big. Now, the Resistance, of course, they do have rocket troopers, which can take these things out lickety-split style. That should be not a problem if the rocket troopers get into range and actually fire at these things. And they should also have a few tanks. Okay, this tank's dead. There's this tank way back here, and okay, there's a bunch of tanks just sort of straight up derping right now. So maybe the tanks will not actually end up being all that helpful. It's kind of tough for me in videos on what I should do if the AI is like derping like this. Some people really like it when I do sort of just like get the AI back on track, but then every time I do that, and that's sort of my preferred method, if the AI is really truly derping and it's really stupid, and it's like, okay, no one in a realistic battle like this would ever allow this to happen, they're not drunk, just get them back on track. That's why I like doing it. But, whenever I do that, people always call like, oh, that's unfair for the defenders. And, war is unfair is usually my response. But, but it can be a little bit frustrating because I'm like, one half of the audience really does like it when I get the battles back on track and underpify them. But the other half of the audience really doesn't like it when I do that because they feel like I'm interfering. I think today I won't interfere until the very end when, like, you need to squad up the troopers. I think the squad up rule is good for my own sanity because then, we could be looking at a 50-minute video where the first 10 minutes are really bombastic and epic and the last 30 or 40 minutes are like one trooper attacks at a time. That's so boring for me. That's so boring for you to watch. Some people really like it because they're like, we need the realism. But I do think it kind of, you know, it takes away from the battle's epicness, and it's also super unrealistic in reality. No strategy would ever be to just send in one trooper at a time. You know, you would squad up your soldiers and push together and stuff like that. So, I don't know, it's a weird balance, and I hope you guys understand sort of the predicament I'm in, where I can't appeal to everybody. I can't make everyone happy, so I do try and do what I think is best for the video itself and for the majority of people. It's a judgment call, and I'll be honest, sometimes I make the wrong one. Sometimes I do interfere, and I'm like, you know what, this is just too derpy, but then my interference results in, like, a blatant victory or whatever. So, I don't want to interfere too much, but sometimes it's necessary. Either way, these two turrets are actually rocking it. Oh, no, this turret's actually dead. Oh, and that turret just died right then. Okay, but up until then, those things were getting some kills, man. This one has 59, and this one had 53. It's almost 100 kills apiece. That's pretty decent. So now the resistance troopers just have to assault the top of the stairs here, and it looks like we got one trooper who's just like, he just sprinted ahead. He was like, I'm gonna be first to the top. No one's gonna beat me. And that was true. He is first to the top, and he is probably gonna be first to die at the keep. The keep here could go one of two ways. It could be just an absolutely beastly defense, and yes, that guy did end up dying right there. It could be an absolutely beastly defense, or it could crumble really, really quickly. That's sort of the two circumstances we've seen at the keep. The keep either does really well or really poorly. It's sort of, the duality of this map right here. And honestly, we've done this map many times. We're pretty familiar with it on the channel, and there are certain stopping points we've seen. Usually, it's either the very front gate where the enemy gets stopped, the staircase below here, which didn't happen at all, or the keep. There's multiple points where the defenders can just pull through and absolutely get, the drop on the enemy. But the First Order seemed to be doing so well at the beginning of the battle, but now they're sort of getting rolled, and most of their troopers ended up getting suppressed here. This is a very easy place to hold out and defend from if you're not suppressed, but half of these troopers ended up getting suppressed immediately upon the enemy troops entering into the keep here, and I think this is just going to result in a swift First Order loss here at the very end. And that's what's going to go down. There's only two First Order troopers left. I thought the keep would do a little bit better than it did right now, but it really hasn't. It really hasn't. The resistance just completely swoops on in here, takes a couple losses, and manages to take the city. There we go. Yep. Resistance does manage to defeat the First Order at the end of the day here, but not before taking extreme losses. So red are dead Resistance soldiers, yellow are dead First Order soldiers, and to be completely honest, there's going to be a lot of bodies missing from this battle. For one, the tanks, if they roll over the bodies, they destroy them, and you can't see them at the end. And for two, explosions do the same, and as you can see, there's been a lot of explosions. Some of the bodies still remain, but most of them probably are deleted. So, while the First Order took extreme losses themselves, I mean, they got bombarded with artillery, they got attacked by tons of infantry, stuff like that. They took extreme losses, but they delivered some serious pain to the Resistance as well, which was very, very impressive, I have to say. Let's actually check and see how the mortars ended up doing here. This one ended up getting 34 kills, and this one got 29. Then these, of course, got about 50 apiece. So we're looking at a lot of kills from just the vehicles, and then, of course, the infantry got a lot of kills, too. So probably like 300 Resistance soldiers died, and I'd say probably about 200 defenders died. Obviously, the rule is you want a 3-to-1 ratio in assault. So if you're attacking an enemy, you want to have 3 times as many troopers as the defenders. And I'd say I gave the Resistance just that, but I also gave the First Order just enough troopers to actually defend and hold out and win. It just happened to be that the Resistance managed to make it happen. I think if we did this battle 100 times, it would probably be like 50-50, 60-40, something like that on defenders and attackers, and I'd say that's a pretty well-balanced battle. But of course, war is not fair, and sometimes you get battles where it's 100-0. There, one side is definitely going to win every time, and you need a miracle to win. But that's the way life works, baby. So guys, that's going to be about it for today's video. I do hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. It helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't already, and comment on down below what you thought of the battle and what you'd like to see next. Either way, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.